Let's pretend we have 1,000 people moving to our city and we have to build a suburban development on this piece of land. If we follow existing development designs, we end up with a street network that looks like this, along with the required water retention ponds that handle runoff in Florida. We start building traditional large single-family homes and quickly fill up our land with houses. If we consider the average household size of 2.5 people in the US, this means we only have enough housing for 500 of the 1,000 people. So we have to buy more land, build more roads and utilities, and build more houses. Now we've housed all 1,000 people, but these people have nowhere to shop or eat, no parks, and no schools. So we need to either buy more land to build these things, or all of these people will have to drive to the existing places, creating more traffic on the existing roads. But if we change how we build, it would be a different story. Instead, let's start with changing the layout of our street network. Rather than winding streets optimized for isolation, let's instead optimize for connectivity and public space. We'll start with this area and treat it as a town center, building some mixed-use buildings. Buildings like these would provide places to shop, eat, work, and live. Next, we can build different types of housing. This could be things like duplexes, which have 2 dwellings per unit, cottage courts, which are small individual dwellings that share a common space, townhouses, which are a row of dwellings in a larger building, apartments, and a variety of detached single-family homes, including ones with front yards and garages in the back, and some traditional larger ones with big yards and driveways. While the average household size is 2.5 people, now that we have a wider variety of housing types, different size households can choose a housing type that might be a better match for their needs. For example, a single young adult might choose to live in a cottage, while a retired couple might choose to live in a townhouse, and a family of 4 might choose to live in a big house with a backyard. Taking this into consideration, we're able to redistribute our average household size by housing type. And when we look at our entire development, we've managed to not only house all 1,000 people without having to buy any additional land, but we've also made space for shops, restaurants, and offices. In fact, we still have some room to spare. We can use this space for a school, parks, public pools, or more mixed use. Since we didn't have to purchase more land, all of that additional land purchased in the first example is able to remain untouched, whether that's natural wildlife habitat or productive farmland. And the local government doesn't have to pay for and maintain all of those additional roads and utilities that would have been built. This example uses 1,000 people and a small piece of land for the sake of simplicity to show this concept, but when you apply this same concept to the scale of some of the massive developments going in with several thousand acres, this can equate to huge differences in terms of land saved. And keep in mind, this is still very much a suburban development. Sure, it'd be possible to fit 10,000 people into the same amount of space and would be much more efficient, but that would make this feel much more like a dense urban setting. And the reality is, many people don't want to live in that level of density. In this example, almost half of the people living here would still be living in detached single-family homes. Everyone can still own a car, with all of the homes having garages or dedicated parking spaces, but it would also be easy to get around by walking or biking. And for those driving around a development like this, the streets would be designed in a way to encourage slow speeds and be significantly safer than many of the high-speed roads common in the suburbs.